Hello and welcome back to the StoneburnerBooks YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you all the different things that are in my latest shop update. So if you see that something that you're interested in, head over to StoneburnerBooks.com and see if it's still available. I'm going to start with these two. They're both filled with watercolor paper and they're spiral bound, so it makes painting much easier. I'm trying to make some more affordable options for my shop. So these are going to be, let me just check the prices. This one is $18 and it's filled with Canson cold press watercolor paper. And then this one is going to be $22. It's also filled with Canson cold press. The nice thing is that it lays so flat and the spiral binding just lets you really access the entire paper. The one thing about this that I want to note is that there is a slight blemish on the back cover. You can see there's a small part where I had pulled out one of the pegs to make it so there wouldn't be a hole here, but it accidentally pushed down and punched part of it on the next one. So that it doesn't impact any of the function of the book, and I didn't want to just throw out the entire thing just because of that one blemish. But again, it's only $22. It's filled with watercolor paper. It's approximately 5 inches by 5 inches, so it's a great little sketchbook at a good little price. So those are the watercolor books that I have. For the next one, you might have seen these on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram. These are notebooks, again, wire bound, filled with blank pages. This is just a regular text weight paper. And I made these for a local shop, but I kept one set of one in each design for my own shop. So these are only $8 each plus shipping, and they're fantastic. They have 60 pages, and there's a couple of these two have nice shimmery designs, and then they have the gold wire binding to kind of match that. And then we have some more colorful ones. The covers are all cardstock weight, and then the back is bookboard. So you know, see how it's put together that way. So these are great for on the go. They're approximately 3.5 inches, or is it 3.5 inches by about 6 inches. So again, these are a great little thing to keep if you're traveling this summer. So those are all available in this shop update. I only have one color of each, one design. And then I have one last wire bound one. This one you've probably seen. I think I posted about it. So it is an old book cover, and you can see right here, I did do some of, I took off all the adhesive, but there is just some staining because that's where the dust cover was taped on. And then I added a whole bunch of new pages. Some are decorative, some are blank, a mix of graph paper and lined paper, and blank pages. So this is a nice little journal if you want to do some art journaling, scrapbooking. All the pages inside are text weight paper, and again, it's wire bound, so it's easy to, you know, flip open and continue writing. So this one is also $22. So that one's ready to go into the latest shop update and find a new home. Okay, and then the last kind of batch of books that I have are Coptic bound books. So these are ones that when I was making these books, when I was cutting the pages for these, there was a certain section of paper that was left over, and they worked really well to make pages for these books. So again, these are also kind of in this year, I'm really working towards trying to find ways to make my books more affordable. And the way I'm doing that with these is that I'm using the offcuts from the other project to make the pages for this one. I'm also using paper for the covers that were scraps from larger projects. Also the book board, when I create kind of my standard books, it leaves an extra piece about this big. So I am really trying to use every single piece of paper and bookboard that I have and make items that fit to those sizes. But that's how I'm trying to find that extra value. I'm still, doing the binding exactly how I would. This is still high quality paper, and I use PVA for my glue. So I'm still using all my same techniques. I'm just trying to find savings for everybody by using every single part of the sheet of paper that I have. So this one's fun. It's shimmery, but then it also has some glitter on it. And this one is a nice little one for art journaling if you wanted to. The paper inside is text weight paper, and the Coptic binding allows it to open really flat. So these are great for kids if you want to get them into journaling this summer. These are great because they open flat, so it's easier to write in. I have these two, and these two are, let me get my notes. These two are $20 each. And then I have some others. I have two others that are rectangular. These are $18 each. And again, they're made with the same text weight paper. Really fun cover designs. This one you might have seen. I had questions of which thread color I should use. So this one is $18 plus shipping. And again, same thing, they open really flat. So a great little book to have if you have a bag and you want to keep something just for jotting down notes. It is hardcover, so it's nice and sturdy. And this one as well, same thing. Text weight paper inside, standard book board here, and nice Coptic binding there. Okay, aside from finished books, I'm going to have a couple other things, one of which is I have 6 boxes of scrap paper. So these are small offcuts of papers that I have used throughout the years. I always save my extra papers. Some are small, some are cardstock, some are handmade papers, some are patterned, some are plain. There's little envelopes in here. There's big chunks of cardstock and pages from books. And then on the very bottom, there are some really special papers that I just have never, I've had them for a while and I just haven't used them. And these are this really cool special marbled paper. So these are all made by a woman in the UK, and I love them, but I've had them for so long, I think it's time to pass them on. Each box should either have a text block of pages that you could use in journaling or junk journaling, use them in backgrounds for collage, or it could have a book cover if you're interested in making your own junk journal. So each box is completely different. I did try to make, like when I made them, I laid it all out. So each box has approximately about the same type of paper, like the same amount of sheets of cardstock, but they're going to have different patterns kind of depending on what box you're doing. So these boxes are $14 plus shipping, and like I said, I've got 6 of those. And then if you are interested in getting something for paper collaging or making note cards, something like that, I also have 3 smaller paper packs. These are all going to be really tiny pieces. The ones in the boxes are 8.5 by 11 or smaller, but I tried to not make them too small. When I had really small pieces, that's when I put them into these little envelopes. So most of these are pretty small. We've got some hand marbled paper that I made. We've got different pattern little offcuts, some of this like just really fun little papers that I've had and used over the years. So it's a mix of text weight paper, a little bit of cardstock, some handmade paper. The marbled paper that I use is pretty thin and flexible. So just a little bit of everything in here. I have 3 of these and they are $8 each plus shipping. Okay, and the very last thing that I am putting up in my shop this time is I have collected many vintage books or vintage inspired books, and I sometimes will buy them for thinking that I'm going to upcycle them, and then I realize I can't quite bring myself to cut into them or something like that. So this one I just bought recently, and I read it and I loved it, but I don't need to keep it forever. So I thought somebody else might be interested in that one. This one I got in a batch of books that I was upcycling, and I love it, but I don't need a growing pains book. But I know there might be somebody out there who would love this and, you know, maybe use the cover for a journal. That's kind of what I thought I was going to do, but I ended up not doing it yet. So those two plus this one, I actually received this this book I found, and I got it so that I could upcycle it, but I have actually upcycled one of these previously. And in that instance, I was given just the cover, not the pages as well. But this is the full book, and I got it to upcycle it, and then I kind of had second thoughts about it. So I'm ready to pass this one on. It is so cool, and the graphic design is wonderful. This is a collaboration with Rifle Paper Company, and I love all of their stuff. So this is a really cool addition. Oops, sorry about that. And this one is actually, it looks vintage. It's a 2014. I think it's a reissue, and it is so cool. I loved all of the graphics, and this is one of those that I got it because I love the colors, I love the graphics, but I just couldn't bring myself to do anything with it. Like, I would love to turn that into something, use it in a junk journal, use it somehow, but I just can't bring myself to cut it up. So I think I'm going to pass it on. It does have a dust cover, but then the cover itself is this really cool graphic. So it's in really great shape. Like I said, it's not actually a vintage book. It was issued in 2014, but it is a really neat book. So I hope somebody else can enjoy it. And it hasn't, I love the images, but I just haven't been using it, and I don't know that I would cut it up. So it's time for it to be passed on. And then this one I bought, creepy crawly things. It is pretty substantial in size, but I got it thinking that I would upcycle this into its own like book or notebook, something like that. And I just, it's not really exactly in my wheelhouse right now. So I am sure, again, that somebody else out there would be enjoying this, either using the pages for collage, or just to read the book, or to do what I wanted to do, which was upcycle it into a journal. But these are the end sheets. They're pretty awesome. So that's the last one. So it's going to be a little bit of everything in the shop update. Some Wirebound, some Coptic, some vintage books, some scrap paper bundles. So definitely check it out. Everything should be up by the time that you're seeing this video. And again, you can go to StoneburnerBooks.com and find all this stuff there. Thanks for watching. Bye.